Once again, we appreciate you coming tonight. At this time, we'll have the invocation and pledge of allegiance, and if you'll stand, I'll lead us in our prayer. And then remain standing for the pledge, please. Let's pray. Father, mighty warrior, God Almighty, we thank you for helping us when we need to make difficult decisions. We are grateful that you don't turn your back on us when we need help. Give us wisdom to recognize our responsibility to do what is right for Atoka and for our lives. And give us the courage to do it. Lord, we ask to be with our firefighters, police, first responders, that they have a big part in playing in the Atoka team, Lord, and guide them. Keep them safe passage, Lord, when they go to houses, when they do your work. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I want to call this meeting to order. And Ms. Debbie, you ready to roll call?
Yes, sir. Would you announce the date and time?
Yes, I will. It's Tuesday, July the 12th, 2022. I have 7 p.m.
All right, we have Mayor Walker,
Here.
Alderman Pace.
Here.
Alderman Harper.
Here.
Alderman Feldmayer.
Here.
Alderman Aiken.
Here.
Alderwoman Renfro. Here. And Alderman Giannini is not present.
Okay. Once again, if you hadn't signed in, please sign in. And if you're going to want to talk tonight for concerns, please sign the sheet back there, because we'll get that sheet, bring it up here, and we'll go off that sheet of who needs to talk. Okay. Regular board meeting, June the 14th, 2022 minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that. We have a motion. We have a second. Any corrections or any thoughts? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Exhibit B in your packet. Financial report. Mr. Administrator, are you ready to go over this? Or not? You got your mind on something else? This is a meeting.
And I'm invited.
Yes, you are invited. You're on the main stage right now.
Apparently. Camera and everything, right?
Financial report.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
It's Exhibit B in your packet.
Okay, general fund, so revenues, total revenue, so this is gonna be ending the fiscal 22 year. Revenues 9.4 million, and then our expenditures are 9 million, so that leaves us a excess revenue over expenditures, and the cash on hand at the end of the period is 4.488 million. Our State Street Aid Fund, we're showing revenues and expenses there. We've got a cash on hand at the end of the period of $233,000. Drug funds, our revenues were $68,000 and expenditures were $22,700. So we've got a excess revenue over expenses, which we planned for, and cash on hand at the end of the period of $90,000. Solid waste, again, revenues are over expenses, which are always good. $673,000 on the revenue, $582,000 on expenditures, and our cash on hand at the end of the period is $128,000.
Mr. Administrator,
Yes, sir.
I added 91 and 116. I got more than 128. Was that because of the 120?
That's because of the 120.
Okay.
The actual cash on hand is the 128. That's what's in the cash account.
Okay.
The spreadsheet.
So I should have added those and then subtracted the 120 to get 128? 'Cause
Say again,
I thought that still didn't work out right.
Well, the number on the cash on hand period comes from the bank statement.
Uh-huh.
But the actual revenues over expenditures are the 91.
Okay.
And typically, we add the expenses with the cash on hand at the beginning of the year, but because of that 120, it skewed it.
Okay.
Good.
I figured that's what it was.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much.
Good question. Water funds, you can see our cash on hand at the beginning of the year is $523,000. Our cash on hand at the end of the period is $803,000. And we've got total bonds and notes outstanding as of June 30 of $871,000. Our actual revenues are $1.107 million. Our actual expenses are $1.278 million. So we do have a deficit, which we've been talking about. And as soon as we're done this, it'll probably be a good time, Mayor, you wanted to talk about the work session, the call meeting on Thursday.
Right.
And then on our sewer, you see our actual revenues are 1.3, and then our total expenditures are 1.6, so deficit of 306,000. And then the total of all funds, 7.95 million. You've got your general sales tax revenue. So good news is the sales tax did bump up a little bit, 6.29%. So you can see that we've got 137,000 sales. No, that's not. Is that, we have the same number of sales tax, 137,400 both months.
That would be
That's a good number.
Okay. So 137,400 for sales tax revenue, and then $60,558 on fire tax revenue. So it did peak up just a little bit over the same month previous year.
And Mark,
Yes.
so if we look back at the general fund revenues and we see sales tax was 113%, so could we just average all those and say that it was approximately 13% higher than we expected? Give or take. Be one way of thinking of it.
Probably so. I mean, that would probably be close. And then, of course, we've got our actual sales tax numbers with dollars that we've received on the chart.
Right.
So, looking across those percentages of change, that's probably about right.
Okay.
We got a high number of, back in October, of 20.64% up over the same month previous year. So that's probably a good average.
Okay.
And Mark, on the water fund, just to clarify something for me, we get cash on hand at the beginning of the year, $523,465. Cash on hand at the end of the period, it didn't say years, it's $803,000. I know that the water fund ran a loss, so I'm just curious where we got that extra money.
280,000. 200 of it should be depreciation.
Yeah.
That's true.
200 of it should be depreciation of the 280,000.
You're correct.
That answers my question.
You're welcome.
That's actual cash.
We'll double check that for you guys and get you an email
Get
out.
a clarification on that figure.
All right, we'll let you do that.
I got one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when we started breaking out the water and the sewer, did we do that right at fiscal year last year, July 1st?
Yes,
So
sir.
next month, we should be able to compare apples to apples, if you will.
We should, yes.
Okay.
And then we'll, like I said, it'll be a good time to talk about it. I called meeting on Thursday, I think. I'd talked with the mayor about some water and sewer rate changes based on some input from TAUD. I think we're honing in on it, so, what were you thinking on Thursday, Mayor? For
Well, I was gonna let them approve this.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm sorry, didn't jump
I mean-
in there.
Yeah, no, thanks. All right, any questions on any more questions concerning the financial report, sales tax report?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. You got that, Ms. Deb?
I do.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now, this is concerning this, so I'll just input it right here. We're gonna need to meet Thursday night, this Thursday night. I got two times, at 4:30 or 6:30. I know you work, but which time would you rather come?
6:30 is better for me.
6:30? All right, 6:30 then is when we'll come, this Thursday night. Now, the reason why we're coming and doing it as a work session for the first, for this time is because we've gotten all our input from the wastewater board, and they have given us some recommendations. Mumford is going up on their water rate to us. They were going up 20 cents, but our contract says you can't. We got that straight this afternoon at 3:30 or 4. So we're gonna get all that input Mark has. And so he's gonna give us the information that we need that the wastewater board has, from the state has given us. And we're gonna make some decisions on that, and that'll be the first reading, Thursday night. Then the second reading is July the 26th. If you'll put that on your calendar, that will be, and also I might as well tell you, Mayor Huffman's gonna speak with the planning and the board concerning, the Blue Oval and the wastewater and the things of what she's found out. And it's not gonna be redundant, it's some new stuff that has come out, so. Letting you know, the 26th at 6:30, this Thursday night at 6:30. And Debbie, y'all make sure y'all get
Yes, sir. Get it
notification to the public. All right, so that's gonna help us. In the way that they have set it up for us is we're gonna be 21,000 in the good for the water, and our sewer will still be in the red, but not so much, and I won't say much more about that because it constantly changes. So that's what we'll do. Any questions on that? All right, thank you. All right, old business. Ordinance, financial consideration, adopting the business license privilege tax. It's Exhibit C in your packet. And the amendment ordinance requires a business to obtain a license to operate in the town of Atoka, including those who are transit vendors and or conduct minimal activities. Currently, you can get a business license at Tipton County Courthouse, and they don't have to come to us. So sometimes a business sets up here and we don't even know they come in. Some of them might not even be at, can run in the town, and we don't know that till after the fact. So we have gotten with Mary Gaither and some other towns and got their business license privileges. And so that brought us to this point. It's already passed on the first reading. So an ordinance to amend business license privileges with the amendment to grandfather in and exempting fees for existing businesses. The town administrator, I've explained a little bit about it. Is anything else you need to add, Mr. Administrator?
No, all good points, Mayor. The only thing I would add is I think Alderman Feldmary had wanted kind of a grandfathered status, and you should see that in 5-05. I think we put a registration period of 90 days after adoption, and any existing businesses would have to register within 90 days, and they would be exempt from the fee. After 90 days, then there wouldn't be any exemption. So that was the way to give a window to existing businesses to be exempt from the fee, but they would still, all the businesses would be required to register annually.
Have we decided how we're gonna contact the existing businesses?
Well, I think we were talking about getting a letter out to the ones that we're aware of. I think we have a list of those businesses, and then we'll get information out on social media and such, town website. And we've got the email blast that we've used for notifications for activities and meetings and work sessions and such.
And the application's already ready to go?
You got that ready for the business tax? Yes, and you're gonna approve that.
Yeah, we gotta-
Okay.
It's in the packet a little later.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. The occupancy tax form is later. That was what you had approved last month. There was a phrase in there that required the board to adopt.
So we talk about
Business tax.
right now.
Yes, so we
Okay.
do have a business tax form that we've got from the county.
All right.
Debbie?
Yes.
All right, as this is the second consideration of the ordinance, is there any objection to reading the ordinance by title only? Hearing none, Ms. Recorder?
An ordinance to amend Title V, Chapter 4 of the Atoka Municipal Code relative to privilege tax.
All right.
Motion to approve?
There's a motion to approve the ordinance for final package. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any discussion? Any more discussion that you need? Hearing none, we'll roll call this. Ms. Christie? I say Alderman Renfro, I'm sorry. Alderman Aiken,
Yes.
Alderman Fairmere,
Yes.
Alderman Harper,
Yes.
Alderman Pace.
Yes.
Moving on, an ordinance on old business, final consideration amending Title III Municipal Court. And then Title 11 Municipal Offenses and Title 13 Motor Vehicle Traffic. Okay, an ordinance to amend Title III Municipal Court. The town administrator, give us a little background, if you will.
Let's see, so we were talking at the last meeting, so these have, there's a couple of titles in there, Title 3, 11, and 13, which you're gonna be looking at in separate ordinances. Really what this does is, the current court costs are not being covered by offenders, so, I don't have the specific percentages, I'm sure Chief might have them handy, but, the court wasn't paying for itself, it should be getting paid for by the offenders and those who create the reason that we've got to have court to start with. So it would include an adjustment to the fees in Title 3, and then there was a text amendment in Title 11. If it's okay, Mayor, I'll just hit all three of these real quick.
Well, I was gonna take all three, I read them out.
Title 11, just a text amendment removing a reference to fortune telling, and then Title 13 are text amendments for operation of a motor vehicle, parking, and traffic law offenses.
All right, do we have to do each one single? I'll put it together.
I would say so.
All right, well, let's do it that way. Ordinance, final consideration amending Title III Municipal Court, that's Exhibit D. As this is the second consideration of the ordinance, is there any objection to reading the ordinance by title only? Hearing none, Ms. Recorder.
An ordinance to amend Title III, Chapter 2, Municipal Court of the Town of Atoka Municipal Code of Ordinances.
All right, is there a motion to approve the ordinance for final passage?
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and second. Any more discussion on the Title III Municipal Court? A in your packet, 4A. Hearing none. Roll call. Alderman Aiken?
Yes.
Alderman Fairmere?
Yes.
Alderman Harper?
Yes.
Alderman Pace?
Yes.
Alderman Renfro?
Yes.
Ordinance final consideration amending Title 11 Municipal Offenses Exhibit E in your packet. As this is the second consideration of the ordinance, is there any objection to reading the ordinance by title only? Hearing none, Ms. Recorder.
An ordinance to amend Title 11 Municipal Offenses of the Town of Atoka Municipal Code of Ordinances.
All right. Is there a motion to approve for final passage? We have a motion by Alderman Fairmere.
Second.
We have a second by Alderman Pace. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Roll call. Alderman Fairmere.
Yes.
Alderman Harper.
Yes.
Alderman Pace.
Yes.
Alderman Renfro.
Yes.
Alderman Aiken.
Yes.
Old business ordinance final consideration, Exhibit F in your packet, amending Title 15 Motor Vehicle Traffic. As this is the second consideration of the ordinance, is there any objection to reading the ordinance by title only? Hearing none, Ms. Recorder.
An ordinance to amend Title 15 Motor Vehicle Traffic and Parking of the Town of Atoka Municipal Code of Ordinances.
All right, is there a motion to approve the ordinance for final consideration?
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Do you have who did that?
Yes, sir.
Any more discussion about it?
This, Chief, this just aligns us with the state, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, any more? Hearing none then. Alderman Harper?
Yes.
Alderman Pace?
Yes.
Alderman Renfro?
Yes.
Alderman Aiken?
Yes.
Alderman Fairmere?
Yes.
Moving on, new business. We have a presentation, oath of office, firefighter, EMT, Hayden Kurdoff. You will, Hayden, come on up. Can I pronounce that right? Kurdoff. Well, I'm sorry, Kurdoff. You know, I was a principal and that was I sweat all night the night before trying to get the names right when I walk across stage, and I always failed.
We'll forgive you, Mayor.
All right,
Draw blood.
Yeah, turn toward me.
you'll turn. Raise your right hand. Oath of office for the firefighter. You repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Hayden Cardoffer,
Do hereby pledge
do hereby pledge
that I will support and uphold the Constitution,
that I will support and uphold the Constitution,
the laws of the state of Tennessee,
the laws of the state of Tennessee,
and the laws and ordinance of the town of Atoka.
and the laws of ordinance of the town of Atoka.
As a firefighter, I further pledge
As a firefighter, I further pledge
to protect and safeguard the lives
to protect and safeguard the lives
and property of the citizens of Atoka
and the property of the citizens of Atoka
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
I pledge service over self,
I pledge service over self,
to work ethically,
to work ethically,
you said it, with integrity,
with integrity,
honesty,
honesty,
impartiality.
and partiality.
I recognize with this badge
I recognize with this badge
the symbol of my position
the symbol of my position
and the public faith and trust placed upon me.
and the
Public faith and trust
the public faith and trust
placed
upon me,
upon me that I will never tarnish it.
that I will never tarnish it.
I accept this badge in the proud tradition
I accept this badge in the proud tradition
and honorable service that go with it,
and the honorable service that goes with it,
and the duties that are placed upon me
and the duties that are placed upon me
as a Atoka Fire Department firefighter.
as a Atoka Fire Department firefighter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank
All right, Chief, you want to get the pictures there?
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Good job.
All right, congratulations. Congratulations again, Hayden. All right, ordinances and resolutions. A resolution approval of development agreement and construction checklist. And if you look at Exhibit G, we've had several meetings on this with developers and builders and such, and with the town. And Mr. Administrator, will you go over that?
Sure will. So this, I can check from the memo, but, so we've got a resolution that would approve a development agreement template and a subdivision checklist for all future development. Had a few work sessions over the period of time. Planning Commission provided a positive recommendation to the board for approval. There was a section 1.6 developers fees. That's in red. I'm sure that you've checked that out already. So that sentence would read, developer shall pay to the town prior to the town's execution of the contract the following non-refundable fees. Water plant expansion is not applicable. Preliminary plan, construction plat, grading and drainage plan, review fees, which is also not applicable, and an inspection fee of $500 flat fee plus $300 per lot, or 3% of the development cost, whichever is greater. And D is a sewer impact fee. Right now it's not applicable. And then a payment of park dedication fee, $250 per proposed lot, and any other such fees as the town may require. So that's that 1.6 section. What we were talking about earlier there, when I was a little bit distracted, is on page 14. It is section 1.8C. It was brought to my attention that I missed a text change on that C. It should read that an irrevocable letter of credit benefiting the town, satisfactory to the town. It should read from there, in the amount of the value of public infrastructure to be installed. So that's how that first sentence should read. The of 75,000 security should be removed, and the phrase value of public infrastructure to be installed replaced in that spot. It was a placeholder, and yeah, it held the place a little too long. The 75,000 through our work sessions was one of the discussion that we had talked about being a placeholder. We just missed it on the revision.
Read it one more time to me, Mark, with the changes.
Yes. An irrevocable letter of credit benefiting town, satisfactory to town in the amount of the value of public infrastructure to be installed, period.
Okay.
Essentially, we're eliminating the 75,000 security. So it would be equal to the value of public infrastructure being installed.
All right, anything else, Mr. Mark?
No, sir.
On
Try to
the,
answer any questions that y'all might have.
on the 3% development costs, I'm not a developer, so I don't really know what goes into cost. I would think, if I bought a piece of property for $2 million, that's part of the cost, right?
It's the development, can you elaborate on that, development cost?
Can't tell who you're talking to right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got it right behind you, yeah.
So,
These are really the inspection fees.
yes, and the cost of the infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. This is for the inspection fees, so it's really based on the construction cost, is what this is based on. It
Okay.
should not include the value of the land.
You know, because if I go out and buy a piece of property in Atoka that may be like $2.5 million, whatever it is, and then you develop it, you know, to me, it just, part of the development cost of buying the property, you know.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
just want, as
question.
long as that's not included in there, because I don't, you know,
Yeah, it's the inspection fee, so in
Okay.
that section C starts the
I just wanted to
inspection
clarify.
fee. Development costs would be utilities,
Yeah.
curbing, sidewalk, roadway. Generally, that's in any kind of, I think that would be generally it, as far as utilities and those types of things, maybe some curb movement, but.
It'd be the, long story short, it's the value of the things that the town has to either inspect or take ownership of at the end.
gotcha.
For soil cement.
Exactly.
Water.
All right,
On the developer's fees, like for instance, PUD, we're heavily asking them to actually give us some common spaces and open parks for the development. So, in a lot of these contracts, the developer would have the option of basically dedicating some land for what this is called a park and lieu fee. And I'm curious if there's something in the language for the developer to have that option.
I don't think there's anything in the current language that I recall that we've had through the meetings. I don't think there is.
Yeah.
So, yes,
The
go ahead, please.
PUD is its own contract,
Yes.
therefore, that contract can have negotiable items in it,
Okay.
and it is agreed upon per each individual PUD.
Okay.
So therefore, things could be negotiated in the PUD contract that might not be exactly like this, because as you know in the PUD, you're gaining some density and architectural control. Long story short, that PUD contract gives the opportunity for some other things to happen, some
Okay.
negotiation to take place.
And then my last question would be, how do we assure, if a developer is paying a $250 per lot park dedication fee, are we gonna set it up in the nomenclature that the town uses that funds for park and rec?
We
We
would
will not
likely
go into
set up a
general funds.
separate account, under the general account
Right.
umbrella, but it would be a separate parks and.
So it could go towards a rainy day fund, towards the, park and rec, any kind of park improvements or recreation center or.
Yeah, we would not want to commingle those funds into just a general account for just general operating expenses. We're identifying them as park dedication fee, we're identifying them as parks, so we need to make sure that we use that for that purpose.
all right. And we, Mark, the changes were, if you'll say that one more time.
Certainly, so the one change is highlighted in 1.6, which is in red, and then in 1.8C, you've got, it would read, the first sentence would read, an irrevocable letter of credit benefiting town, satisfactory to town, in the amount of the value of public infrastructure to be installed.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the resolution as presented?
Make a motion with the changes that have been submitted. For this to be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're gonna do, roll call. Alderman Pace,
Yes.
Alderman Renfro,
Yes.
Alderman Aiken,
Yes.
Alderman Philmere,
Yes.
Alderman Harper.
Yes.
All right, resolution of occupancy tax collection reporting form, Exhibit H in your vote, in your packet, and, we had a first, we talked about it last time, so Mark, you wanna go over this with us on the resolution? Or you want me to go?
I just wanted to make sure, since there was a resolution that was attached to the developer's agreement and a construction checklist, that the board was approving the resolution. The agreement and the checklist were an attachment to the resolution, so they were referenced in the resolution
Yeah.
with the changes. Just want to make sure.
That is correct.
That was read.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right, resolution approval of occupancy tax is where we are. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the occupancy tax, the board has adopted that on final reading, and Ms. Debbie caught that the board is required to approve a submission form or a reporting form as part of the ordinance, so that the hotels or those in other short-term meetings are gonna be able to submit their revenues on a board-approved form, and it's required in the ordinance. So this is just really approving the form, so that we're just in compliance with the ordinance.
All right. Any changes, any questions, discussion?
And Mayor, I'll just point out that the form is the same template that the county uses to collect their occupancy tax. We just changed names and
Good stuff. Yeah, thanks.
So the form is actually H, not HH.
It's H, but we had to put it, had to put it HH, yes, it's H. We had to put it HH, and when all the documents are in the computer, to get them to flow right in the proper order.
All right.
This one just got carried over to HH.
All right, any more questions, any more things?
I make a motion approved.
All right, we have
Second.
a motion to approve the resolution. We have a second. Is there any more discussion? All right, hearing none. All right, Alderman Renfro, we're gonna do a roll call. Alderman Renfro,
Yes.
Alderman Aiken.
Yes.
Alderman Philmere.
Yes.
Alderman Harper.
Yes.
Alderman Pace.
Yes.
All right, resolution approving submission grant application, this is given by the, fire department. We got Exhibit I, Exhibit J, and Exhibit J. I suppose I have to do them separately. And, if you'll look at it, there's, on the first one, the resolution approving submission, for public entity grant application is a 50% cost share for that. And, Mr. Town, why don't you talk about it?
The purpose of the grant is laid out in the memo and in the resolution. It does require a 50% cost share, estimating that cost share to be about $1,794 for the request. It would be securing 3 sets of ballistic resistant PPE, including rifle plates, for fire department use. Hopefully they never need to use them, but that's what it would go towards. And if there's any other questions, that's what I know about the grant, and Chief Posey could probably answer any additional.
Do we know where the extra 2,000 is coming from?
Any difference would be out of the current 23 budget.
We just cut short on some tools or something for the new truck?
Or something, toilet paper.
Chief, is,
Yes, sir.
is this I mean, could you be turned down for this, or is it pretty much, we apply, you got a good feeling we'll get it?
None of them's a guarantee. I
Okay.
mean, all these grants, I mean, you put in for them and there's a pecking order, and, you know, we'll be up against other people, just like the Safers and the AFGs and.
Okay.
But, we're trying.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, from, Mr. Administrator, from my standpoint, I think, if we stay in the budget or in that budget, you know, that'd be what we need to do. On, all right?
Chief, what are the cost of these vests? If you were awarded a grant, how many vests do you think it'll cover with the share?
With the grants, we're looking at getting 7 vests, we're figuring, entry teams going in with police, at least probably 3, they've gotta have some backup, so we figured 7 sets. That gives some extra, and, the cost is, yeah, right around $1,100 a set. And that includes the vest and the ballistic helmet.
So that'd be 4 more sets we're talking about, is that right?
Well, the other grant
Yeah,
is addressing that, yes, sir.
okay, I see that. Yeah. And there's no cost sharing with that grant.
Correct.
Okay.
Need a motion?
All right, we have a motion? Don't we have a motion?
Do we?
I don't think we do.
I'll make a motion.
All right, we have a motion to accept the resolution as presented.
I'll make a motion, we approve Exhibit I, submission of the grant to PE Partners application.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve it, and we have a second. Any more discussion? So we're just voting on the one that's 50% cost share right now.
Correct.
All right, hearing none. Roll call. Alderman Philmere,
No.
Alderman Harbour,
Yes.
Alderman Cody, Pace,
Yes.
Alderman Renfro,
Yes.
Alderman Aiken.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Resolution approving submission grant application for the Southwest Tennessee Electric Membership Corporation. There's no cost sharing with this. Mr. Staff, Administrator, you want to talk to us about it?
Not a whole lot to say other than it's a different grant, same purpose, and this does not have any cost share.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second, and roll call. Alderman Harbour,
Yes.
Alderman Pace,
Yes.
Alderman Renfro,
Yes.
Alderman Aiken,
Yes.
Alderman Philmere.
Yes.
Moving on to resolution approving submission for the firehouse sub, Exhibit K. Mr. Administrator.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Chief Reggie to elaborate on this one a little bit, but it's a grant application from Firehouse Subs to secure a 4-wheel drive utility vehicle with fire and rescue capabilities, also with firefighting and EMS tools. He can elaborate way better than I can on this.
Yes, Mayor, this is for, similar to a Kubota, but it's firefighting purposes with the amount of grass fires, field fires we have and everything. This is a small, compact that you can, it's got about 90 gallons of water on it. You can use that to fight these fires. Also, you have capabilities of putting a stretcher or a spine board on there and carrying somebody out of an area that you wouldn't normally be able to get back in. And we're looking at getting it off Firehouse.
Okay.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve for the firehouse sub, approving submission grant application. We have a first and we have a second. You got them? All right. Roll call. Alderman Pace,
Yes.
Alderman Winfrey,
Yes.
Alderman Aiken,
Yes.
Alderman Philmere,
Yes.
Alderman Harbour.
Yes.
All right, moving on to miscellaneous items. Record destruction request, Police Department, Utilities Department. Exhibit L in your packet, that you looked at, and Mr. Administrator, give us some information on the destruction of records.
Sure can. The state requires that municipalities retain records for certain periods of time. The records that you have in front of you are, it's more of a memorandum, letting the board know and documenting the records that we are going to dispose of. We're just following the protocol there for records retention policy.
All right,
Makes room in the storage vault too.
yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve the records destruction request. Now, how many years you have to wait?
Well, if you, the first one that you have should be L in your packet. It should have the police logo at the top right-hand corner. You can see in that all the way column to the right-hand side. You can
12
see
years.
the end of the retention, so you've got 12 months to 8 years. So all of the documents that are listed there, you can see are well below the 8, or well past the 8 years.
Okay.
And then on your second Exhibit L, these are ones coming from Finance and Administration. You say daily reports and bank statements. Again, we had a 5-year retention on certain documents and 7 years on the other.
All right, we have a motion to accept the records destruction request by the Police and Utilities Department.
Second.
All right, we have first and second, you got it?
First was,
All right. We're just gonna do this by vote. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Number 2, under miscellaneous, approval of summer and fall events, Exhibit M. This is taking us from Rock the Block all the way through December, lighting of the tree. And she went half of it, the first of it from January to June. Now we're going from Rock the Block on. Do I have a motion that we approve these summer and fall events?
Motion to approve.
I second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Dorothy, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
You know what the question is?
I'm not very
Where
sure.
is the market thing again?
Oh, so, in a minute.
All right. She just does whatever. All right, departmental reports, code enforcement. Anything on that, Mark?
Just have it in your packet for your review.
All right. Chief Posey, I think also Mark Daughtery has had gallbladder surgery. Is that right?
Correct.
Not at liberty to say per se, but yeah, he's
Oh, he's out sick. I'm sorry. I'm improper. I'm sorry. It's okay. But he's okay.
yeah, he's doing well.
All right. Fire Department, Chief Posey.
Thank you, Mayor, Board of Aldermen. You have my monthly numbers for June. If anybody's got any questions, I'll be glad to answer. I would like to note that the 149 calls for service for the month of June is a record, and we continue to climb each month in 2022. Just a couple of items. Tomorrow night, we'll have a countywide active shooter drill at Atoka Elementary School at 6 o'clock, 1800 for your military type. So everybody can tell and comment on fans of Atoka when they want to know what's going on at the school, when they see all the police and deputies and fire trucks and ambulances and everything, what's going on. Hopefully, this is the first of several that we're anticipating. I know Chief Rudolph will enlighten us a little bit more, but that'll be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. We did have the 2 hires. One was sworn in tonight. We did make a second hire off of the 23 budget. He'll start July 19th. We were lucky that he's a firefighter paramedic, which is a pretty good coup for us. The 3 tornado sirens are in operation. I think everybody can probably hear them now. I know they're louder than what we had. Still need a couple of little tweaks on them, but the 3 of them are in service, so right now we've got all 5 of them going on. All right, lastly, this will be my last official meeting in front of y'all as Fire Chief of Atoka. Let me just say, after 44 years of being a firefighter, 8 of those here in Atoka, it's kind of time to stop hearing those sirens and chasing all those cries for help. I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve this community in which I live in, and proud of being named the first fire chief and being able to start a fire department from near scratch. I'm proud of what we have accomplished in a short 8 years. Truly a labor of love. To be in firefighting profession, you have to have a servant's heart. Firefighting is the best and noblest profession in the world. As a firefighter, we're just kids in an adult body that never grew up. And we always had that childhood dream, like most kids, of being a firefighter and riding that big red fire truck. Besides, police have to have heroes too. I'll say that we hired well and have the best trained and professional firefighters in Tipton County. Delivering the best in pre-hospital care to this county, the citizens of Atoka are well served. Just to list a couple of the major accomplishments: being able to become a full-time ALS, Advanced Life Support, department 24 hours a day, serving our citizens is huge. Also, lowering our ISO rating, which affects homeowners and commercial insurance rate from a class 5 to a class 3, being only 1.8 from a class 2. The new fire chief should be able to accomplish the coveted class 2 without little hard work and the addition of the new Quint fire truck that we've got ordered and the better manpower. I've always believed that if you take care of your people, they will take care of you. In public safety, this has never been truer than today's world. I wish all of you well. I wish nothing but the best and safety for the Atoka Fire Department, the rest of the public safety, and our town employees. I pray that God continues to bless the town of Atoka and the United States of America. Thank you.
Chief, I'd like to say a few things. You can sit down, or you can stand right there, you can come up by me. Come on up here.
This will be about the 95th time I counted I've been up here, Mayor.
Come on. It's your night, Chief. It's your night. Chief Henry Posey, some of the accomplishments that I saw, and the fire people helped me, your lieutenants and all, we took your positives though, Chief, and named them tonight. He started this process of initiating the fire department here with direction of the board October the 9th, 2014. And he started the fire department / EMT firefighter team and did a great job in organizing it and taking it to another level, which we didn't have one until this, so it would be good. Initiated fire and medical first responders with Atoka Fire Department. 2017 was certified as an advanced life support first responder service. The Atoka Fire Department was, with paramedics staffed on every shift in the Atoka Fire Department. Opened AFD Second Fire Station 2019. Served as president of West Tennessee Fire Chiefs Association. Served as president of Tipton County Fire Chiefs Association. He's appointed to the Tipton County 911 Board. He served on the EMS Board of Dyersburg State Community College. He secured the first new aerial ladder truck for the town of Atoka in South Tipton County. Above all that though, Chief, I served 44 years, so I know what the emotions come through in my profession until I decided it was time. And what I think is so fitting is when a man realizes it is time and does it. And my dad didn't have a pot to pee in, so to speak, and I know that might be, but he told me, Darrell, it's one thing to know when to get in it and know when to get out of it. And his example and his words meant a lot. But you're a great example that represents the town of Atoka. All the kids, they want to aspire to be like you, and that's one thing that you can hold high, the example that you set for the town. You you represented us well, and I appreciate that. And that means a whole lot as the mayor to have somebody of your caliber. Appreciate it, Chief. Thank you, man. I'd like all the aldermen and all the ladies to come down here at this point, and you're going to take some pictures, Doc. Chief, we have to do it this way. They told me to be careful not to scar it all up. But you know what? Take that, dude. It says, y'all come on. Y'all come on up here. Come on, Miss Posey. Come in here.
Alderman Feldmeyer did bring up something that probably needs to be too, is that the first fire truck that we got it came from Daytona Raceway.
It did.
And we went down there and got it, and it had all the Daytona
And
logos on it and everything, and I wanted to keep it, but they made me take it off, or something, so that's why we got our own Atoka, but, that would come from Daytona.
Chief Henry Posey, October 9, 2014 through August 5th, 2022. The town of Atoka, Board of Mayor and Aldermen and staff want to thank you for your years of dedication to the town of Atoka's public safety. And Chief, words can't be said, but you can have what you heard up high. That's a service well done.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it.
You gonna let him have it?
I think I was gonna tell you.
So I think if he holds it up right,
Yeah,
it
it won't
won't
do.
hit, and we can get a good picture. Just don't let it hit the.
You don't have one of those, do you, Chief?
No, not like that, I don't.
There we go.
Y'all wanna get in there close, I'll get in there close. Y'all gonna have to get in close, man. Get in close. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Once again.
Chief, you know we have another meeting Thursday night, you're welcome to come to it.
I'll be there.
All right, moving on, Parks Department, Ms. Isabel.
All right, we still have a lot of our current activities going on, our blast ball, t-ball, softball all-stars. We have 3 teams going to World Series. So I'll let y'all know how that goes next month. They've been doing lots of fundraisers and things, so if you've seen all that, feel free to participate or give them leads on to get other stuff. They're doing a lot of fundraising because 2 of them are going to Branson, and then the 18U's going to Hot Springs. We still are doing our team nights. Those have went really well. We've had movie nights and game nights. We were supposed to have dodgeball last week, but with the heat index being so hot, we kind of like a little group message going with them, and they still wanted to meet, so we just came in here and did a game night / movie night, and they had an awesome time. I've been enjoying doing the camps with them and the nights. Tiny Tykes, we've been doing that on Tuesdays. It's went over really well. We have about 12 to 15 kids that come each time, and we're going to continue doing it in the fall also, and go indoors when it gets cold. Summer Little Sports has also been going on. That's on Thursday evenings all throughout the summer, along with all of our other camps. Lego camp is going on this week. Next week will be art camp. Current registrations, you can still do team night, Tiny Tykes, Summer Little Sports. We have fall soccer and softball registration going on now. Regular registration is till the 17th, and then we'll do late registration through the end of the month. The next thing that didn't make it on the event calendar is we've been looking at doing a farmer's market in South Tipton. We don't have anything right now, so we're going to do a pop-up farmer's market just to kind of get an idea on July 23rd, if that's good with everybody. And we are actually going to use the lot across the way, which is boat right. So we've gotten permission, and they're allowing us to use the lot, so that way we can utilize our parking lot for parking and the building for bathrooms, and then still have it somewhere, that catches everybody's eye on Main Street pretty much. Does anyone have any questions about that? I think it's going to be from 8 until 1. And then if it goes really well, the thought is to do it on the 2nd Tuesday of every month. And typically, most areas will do them from April until November. So, and then as we see how many people come, we may find a more permanent location and permanent structure if we see that it's a big hit down in this area.
Are we gonna furnish the pop-ups, or they bring their own?
A little bit of both, because I want to encourage them to come. So we do have several in the Parks Department that we already have on hand. So we will let them borrow them while they're there. We'll have a worker there just kind of overseeing it, and then provide a table, because most farmers markets will provide at least one wooden table, but obviously we don't have that. So we can provide them a single table to use during that time, and then break everything down and put it up. We have some of y'all may have noticed a Connex box back here that we're working to get painted and make it look prettier. But it's some extra storage here for town hall, so we'll be able to store like the tents and the tables in there to use for the farmer's market across the street. All right, one more update I have is for the mitigation project that has been underway for the Walker Park area. We have been waiting for them to get started with that. I think it's been working on since before I even started here. So we're going on almost 3 years. The current update is they had a delay in getting some of the survey data. So now that that's done, they're back on their timeline and in the process of writing up the final legal descriptions of the property. They've got working on some tracks. Track 1 is about 50% done, and then track 2 and 3 is complete. Apparently this one they're working on is the largest one though. Once that's completed, they'll take the final plans and begin getting bids put out for the construction of the project. Then of course from there, it's a 30 to 60 day process from receiving approval to proceed. And then contractor, turning dirt and weather. So, I don't know, I guess after really looking at that, hopefully maybe beginning of next year, we will see. But that's what they're telling us. So, Mark's been really good, and I try to help too to keep on them so they know that we're not forgotten about it.
So, this is what got.
Mitigation project. Supposed to go down through Walker Park and
Mitigation. Well, now when's that start? Because I've been
Trying to get in touch with you.
so the update from today, going by the timeline, I mean, maybe they'll get started by the end of the year, looking more like the beginning of next year.
For
'Cause
Walker Parkway. Shoot.
They keep, I don't know, in my opinion, it just seems like there's always hiccups, everything's just taking forever. But, I mean, every time we get in contact with them, they're a little bit closer, but it's just a really slow process. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Well, all I was told is that the engineer from David Blackwood's office and the engineer from, they're waiting on his approval. They had a problem, so they must have got it approved and they're just waiting on how to get it up there. Is that right?
Pretty much. And then, of course, you have to bid everything out for the different construction pieces.
And what you're talking about, the dirt work and all, is the ditch, how they're gonna lay it back and all. We got the plans for it and all, so it's gonna be nice.
It will be.
Give us more, help us in the flood part of down into the bottom end of the stream. All right, thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you.
All right, Chief.
Good evening. The stats are in front of you inside your packet. These are just since we're at half a year, just a reminder, again, these are Part 1 crimes that we report to the state. And these will be stats that we compare from July 3rd this year to July 3rd of last year. So you can look through those and see where we stand. Green means that we're less than we were at this time last year, and red means we're slightly up from last year. But the overall percentage is roughly around down 11% from this time last year. We have a notable arrest. We had a suspect in one of our local banks trying to pass a bad check that they stole from a business. It wasn't local, but we were able to get over there quick enough to put out a good broadcast, and we were able to catch him trying to do the same, or we didn't, but we put it out enough that Covington was able to catch him up there in one of their banks, and so we were able to charge him with forgery as well. So we got another one in jail that was notable. Again, we're continuing on with our training. Thank you, Chief, for mentioning our active shooter tomorrow. But so there's no big alarms and anything, kind of like we did back earlier, end of last year. We're partnering up with all the other law enforcement agencies in the county to kind of brush up on active shooter training. This second phase is to incorporate fire and EMS into the training to kind of help them acclimate towards an active shooter drill and to kind of get that rote memory going and training. We had training this last Friday in-house to kind of go over a few things to talk about what that really looks like and what to expect this coming Wednesday or tomorrow evening. We're going to do it at the school, so like Chief said, the social media will be blowing up about what police and fire conventions going on at the school, so y'all will know that's what's going on, is we're doing a second installment of active shooter training.
What time is that again, Chief?
I think 6 to 8 tomorrow night. You know, just, that's really the end of my presentation. I just want to say congratulations on a well-deserved retirement, and I've really appreciated working and you being a mentor to me, so I can't thank you enough. I just wanted to do it publicly. And the last thing is the budget has been approved, and we are approved for one more police officer, and I know it's always been your dream to become a police officer, so if you'd like, we will take you on.
All right, Director Ellis, it's your show now.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You guys make it hard for a new guy to follow all that.
We don't always do that.
Well, it's well deserved. Congratulations, Chief. Don't have a lot again, only being here, this is my 4th week. You have my report. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. But I did want to take just 30 seconds to publicly address you guys and the citizens. I have been more than pleased with my reception here and the professionalism of every employee I've dealt with, from the town administrator to the guy that's been in public works for a year. The knowledge of their job, the professionalism, and the courtesy, I couldn't expect anything more. I just wanted to publicly announce that. That's all I have.
I've got a good question.
Sure.
On this paper,
Yes.
is there anything that you see, well, maybe we should say this and maybe we shouldn't say that, or why are we doing this? And
There's a lot of information there. Again, everyone has their own perspective of what they want to know and how much they want to know.
so it's your report. If you ever think you need to add something to it, we are welcome to it.
Okay.
We like to.
And I may take some things away, as you said. I'll note that.
It's just me though.
Sure.
They may like all the colors and everything.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you, sir.
All right, miscellaneous items for the mayor, board of aldermen, town administrator. I'd like once again to reemphasize 6:30 Thursday night, this Thursday, that's the 14th. We'll meet, and then July the 26th, we'll meet at 6:30 with Mayor Huffman, and then right after that, we'll do our water department, or the water sewer reading there. And then, I believe that's all I have. Board of Aldermen, y'all have something?
I have a question, or maybe just some clarification from Chief Rudolph. You might have seen that I posted, my niece, we found that there was an air tag on her car. And I was asking some advice on, and a lot of people were saying to call the police, but there's not really a lot that y'all can do at that point, am I correct?
If there's a legitimate air tag that was placed on your car that you had to acknowledge of, then there's laws that cover stuff like that. So yes, I would certainly recommend calling the police.
Okay, well, I'm glad I asked, because a lot of people said to call the police, but then everybody came back, or somebody else came back saying that there's nothing that they can do, so, okay, good.
If you can find, again, if you've got somebody that's put something on your property and that you didn't place there, and they're tracking your movements, yes, they can.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mark, town administrator, you have something?
I did have a couple of things, but first, I know that Amber Shaw, our new town attorney, this is her first meeting. I know that she was very excited to come and be a part of what's going on here at Atoka, and given an opportunity to talk to you all.
Good evening, everyone. I will join the new guy parade. This is my first meeting. I apologize I was not able to be here at the last meeting. Unfortunately, I was sick with COVID and have now recovered, and I'm able to attend, and I'm glad to be here. I have had an opportunity to meet with Mark and Amanda and Mayor Walker, but this is the first time that I've met most of you. And so if you have any questions that I can provide answers to, I'm happy to. I have laid my business card at your desks so that you have that. It has all my contact information. I understand I'll also be getting a Town of Atoka email address, and so that will also be helpful. But if there's anything that I can do for you, please let me know. I will say, just generally updating you, I did attend the last hearing on the Apex case. As you know, that's being defended by Ed McKinney and Will Wyatt over at Harris Shelton. They're two of my law partners there. And so I was.
Do we need,
Yes.
do we need to do legal updates or not?
I can do a quick legal update for you.
Have everybody leave or what?
No, sir, I think I can just do a general public update, and if we get
Well,
into
do what
any,
you need to do then, thank you.
any specific questions, I may have to refer that to an attorney meeting.
Okay.
But just generally speaking, I did attend that last hearing, and that's before Judge Blake Neal over in Tipton County, our circuit court judge. And so our attorneys are strategizing on what to do after that hearing, and I can provide more specific details in our private update. And then the other case is the hacker case that's currently pending. That's an older matter, and I have reviewed that, and I'm getting up to speed on that as well. So if you want to know anything about me, I'm happy to answer those questions. I have practiced law for 15 years. I manage the Harris Shelton Covington office, and I've been with Harris Shelton for 3 years. Before that, I had the Gordon Shaw Law Group. My law partner was Houston Gordon, and so I was initially his associate and then later became his law partner before he retired. And so it is a privilege to serve the town. I'm very happy to be given this opportunity, and if I can be helpful in any way, please let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right,
I had a couple other items, Mayor, if that's okay.
you do, go ahead.
I did want to, so I didn't forget to recognize Amber. I wanted to do that up front. Chief Posey had mentioned the early warning sirens. The coax cable repair is supposed to take place sometime yet this week. Then we should be up to all 5 sirens fully operational. I wanted to remind the board that we did need to schedule another work session for the TDEC and ARPA infrastructure monies for the spending plan. I know that we were wanting to wait until after the 4th to get something scheduled, so I don't know if you all want to discuss that at this point, or you want to wait till another point in time, but I don't want to wait and let it go too far, because we do have to have our projects in by November. You know, that kind of seems like a long way off, but it's really not.
Thursday night at 7?
Sir?
Thursday night at 7.
Thursday night. We'll do it whenever.
I was thinking about it in August, the first week or so.
It's all up to you guys.
What do y'all want to do? I think we can have, well, I think we need to deal with the water, and then we'll do
We could have a work session directly immediately after, if you want to do that. Have the called meeting so you can take action on the proposed water rates and sewer rates, and then have a work session after.
It's up to this bunch. I'm gonna stay up here till 10 o'clock at night time. What do y'all wanna do, man? I told you my opinion. You do what y'all think.
What's the choices? Do we want to have a work
You wanna
session
work after
at
the-
Thursday night, after the water meeting?
Yeah. It's gonna be a long night. I could go for another date.
Or do you want to look at something in August then, early August, for maybe the first week of? And
Well, why don't we look at it Thursday night? We'll look at it and give them a date.
Okay, let's discuss it further. That's a good idea.
That's,
I did want to try to keep us on track with that spending plan, though.
yeah, that's great.
Update on the long-range comp plan. So it is on track. They're making good progress on it, up to the point that I've asked Orion to see if they could accelerate the delivery of the long-range comp plan. They were originally shooting for a January-ish delivery date, and after talking with Bob at Orion, it looks like he might be able to accelerate that a bit to maybe the end of October or beginning of November. No promises, but they're going to try to get it done as soon as they possibly can. So that way anytime we can gain is better for us. Just wanted to provide you an update with that. So we've got a visit scheduled on the next Thursday, the 21st, to go look at a couple of planned communities. I think you're all aware of that, and most of you, I believe, are going to be attending, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be having more information to come on that, on the routes and where exactly we're going to be. Dorothy gave you the Walker Parkway mitigation update. With that, I did need to get an okay, so do we need a motion for the credit card?
Yes, please.
Okay. To get a credit card for Mr. Harvey, for Director Ellis, the bank's requiring now that there's a approval of the board, so it's in the minutes. And then I wanted to get a town card for Miss Amanda at a lower amount. There are times when we're separated and where she's running particular errands and doing some details for things for the town. So if it's okay with the board, we'd get a credit card for Director Ellis at $3,000 limit, and then for Amanda Farbo at $1,000.
Just like a debit card or a credit card?
Credit card.
That's what all the directors have.
Yes, sir. We just have to
Yeah.
let you know, get it okay from the board members.
That's fine.
We hadn't had to do this before.
The process before was they would just require an application and have the mayor sign it, but they changed their rules where now they want
The board approval.
additional approval from the board that it's okay for any employee to use a town credit card.
You need a formal motion?
Yes.
Yes, yes, we do. Do we have a motion that we,
Get some credit cards.
get credit card
$3,000.
for $3,000 limit for Director Hillis, and then Ms. Amanda, $1,000 limit.
Okay?
Just those two specifics, but you don't have to do just blanket right now, do
That's like, you.
you? We did it just right. That's my motion.
Okay.
All right, do we have any discussion? Any more questions? I make it muddy?
I'll second that motion.
All right,
Okay.
we have a motion. Who made the motion?
You made the motion. I'll ride with you.
All right, I have a motion that we take this at 3,000 and 1,000.
And I seconded that.
All right, now, do I have a motion? Somebody got it first.
I'll make a motion of previously stated
That's it.
directive.
Got it.
Do we have,
So I'm making the motion.
that's right. Do we
I'll
have a second? Good stuff. That's all right.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion second. Any discussion, more discussion on it? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Mark, y'all don't need to throw that at us like that. All right, any more, Mark? You got anything in?
Brief items, just informational. I did email some information out to the board members about the elected officials training level 2 in Gatlinburg, August 12th and 13th. I know Alderwoman Renfro has said that she wanted to attend, so we've got her signed up for that training. Just wanted to remind you, if anybody was interested, let me know. We'll get registered and everything.
Do you know if they plan on doing that again after the November election?
I would think that they would, they'll probably be level 1, but I know Alderwoman Renfro has been through the level 1. I think Alderman Pace has, and probably the other members.
Went through level 2 last September, and that was really enlightening. It was a little more of a deep dive into the departments. Lot more, level 1's that very basic, and level 2 let us get into and actually ask questions to the MTAS specialists.
Yes, it's a really great training, and even for experienced members, no harm in getting a refresher and updates on any new laws or legislation. We are working with Aeneas to try to move forward with the project and getting the phone and internet service. We just met with them, I believe it was last week, to try to finalize some of that. We did have a issue that came up at Walker Parkway Fire Station, which I need to get with Chief Posey about and sort out some of those details, but I think that relatively minor. And also informational that Amanda and I met with the Millington Industrial Development Board on the 7th. Both the executive director from the chamber and their industrial development board down there, and we're working towards creating our own industrial development board. That's all I got for you.
All right.
Did I see that the website's up and going?
It is, yes. Thank you for reminding me. The website is up. We've got a couple little minor things, but it is functional. So I think if you haven't visited, y'all should. All right. Now it's time for citizens' concern, and Mr. Rick Ramsey of 1652 Rosemont will come forward.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Walker and the board, with my concerns, I have a short announcement. I'm curious if I'm permitted to say anything about it.
What is it?
Like several in this room, I'm running for alderman, and I just wanted to say something in regards to that. Am I permitted or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, roger that.
2 minutes.
So I come before you guys to
Hold
bring.
on just a minute. Go
Okay.
ahead if you want to.
It's your 2 minutes.
Do what?
It's your 2 minutes.
Okay, no problem. I mainly come before you to bring crew concerns. Behind me is Mr. Rodney Hughes and Harold Owens. They live on J.E. Blades, kind of in the top of the hill above you, Mr. Walker, pretty much at the intersection of Elizabeth Drive. They've expressed concern for a foul odor of sewage that kind of drifts up the hill. There's a very soft spot that stays wet down there near the road. They've voiced it to the town. People have come out. They said basically they've driven by and then reported back nothing. So it does take a little bit of sitting there, kind of talking with them. You can get the odor. You'll smell it. I realize there's people there with septic tanks up on that hill, but I would invite you guys to readdress this as Public Works.
Now, what's the address, you think?
Mr. Hughes?
581 and 555.
Yes, sir.
581-555. All right.
Mr. Owens has actually stated to me that he's ready to go down and take a water sample and have it sent off just to prove that they are in fact smelling sewage. So I told him not to do this, that to bring it to the board and see if we can get it taken care of without having to spend a lot of money. My next concern, speeding on Rosemark. It's, especially in the evenings and in the mornings, it's unreal. I live right on Rosemark. I face Rosemark pretty much at the intersection of J.E. Blades and Rosemark. And you guys, Mr. Rudolph, Chief Rudolph, you're welcome to use my driveway if you would like to sit there and speed trap. So that's that one. And then trash, like all fans of Atoka, people talk about, they seem to miss my trash a whole lot. So that's all I'll say in regards to that. Thank you for your time.
Do you notify town hall when it's missed?
I do every single time.
Good.
Now, Mr. Ellis, right, you got that information?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But when you do it, get back with the gentleman and let him know, please.
Definitely.
All right?
Yep. Was there ever a service ticket or anything opened for that? Okay. Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right,
Motion adjourned.
we have a
Mayor,
motion.
before we do that, can I just thought of one thing that I should have brought up earlier, but Mark, did we have an update on fire chief applications?
We did. We had about 37 applicants, and we're in the process of reviewing those applications. Just closed on Friday, so there's quite a few to go through, and working with them tasked to get those charted and get them assessed.
Thanks, sir.
Certainly.
All right,
Motion to adjourn into a legal.
all right. We want to adjourn, but
Session.
what we do, we have a closed session for legal advice in accordance with Tennessee Code annotated section 9345D. So I ask the citizens if they'll move out